All right, let's go.
All right. Good morning. Welcome to today's community briefing. Today is the 21st of March, and I believe it was as of yesterday, officially now the end of winter for us and the beginning of spring solstice. And so we are in a new season, and it's finally stopped raining now. We've had, I don't know, more than 10 days of no rain. I think there's supposed to be rain coming Saturday a little bit, but we've had our share of rain. So nice, sunny out here, and time to get moving. So welcome. My name is Gregory Sneed, and we are glad you're here with us at the community briefing. Our guest today is Margo Ladrew, and she will be joining us momentarily. So sit back, relax, get yourself a cup of coffee, and we are in for some great information. Now, it's my pleasure to welcome to the virtual stage the Women in History queen of our community briefing, Miss Crystal Mitchell.
Good morning, everyone. Glad to have you. Wow, spring is my favorite time
Jesus
because
Christ.
it's the beginning of my spring gardening planning. So last week I got to go out and get the hands dirty and start planting, put all my aggressions into the soil and the tilling of that. So I am excited. Rain is over. And here's how I know that the rain is over, Greg. But in early part of February, when it's raining really, really hard, the IRS came back and said they were going to push back the IRS deadline to June 17th because of all the rain and people were having landslides and all of a sudden. 2 weeks later, it came back to April 15th. So I know the rain is over because the IRS says the rain is over. so, so we are back into regular normal. Welcome, guys. I am Crystal Mitchell. I am the co-director of Recycle Black Dollars. The inspiration for the community briefing. This platform is for us, by us, for us to create a better tomorrow for us, to make sure we have a platform that we can have honest conversation. We can meet our leaders and our leaders and our stakeholders that are making things happen in our communities and making things and you get to know who's doing what and why they're doing it, and you get to ask questions. It's nothing better than to be able to know who's sitting at the table so that you can ask questions and make them keep them accountable. That's so important in today's uh, business world, political world, local world, all types of world. We got to make folks accountable because things are happening behind the scenes. I'm excited because our guest today, she's pretty phenomenal. She's doing some out of the box kind of stuff, and I love people that do out of the box stuff. Most of the women I know actually do out of the box stuff. I just have I'm surrounded by those kind of women, and that's pretty cool. The guys too, but guys, I'm sorry. This is Women's History Month, and so I'm really an advocate of my sisters. I want to thank you guys for being here. This platform is powered and sponsored by Recycling Black Dollars and the Black Business Association, and we have a number of monetary sponsors. Los Angeles, LDC. Thank you, Mr. Michael Banner, for all of your support. Southern California Edison, Wells Fargo Bank, PCR, SoCal Gas, um, and our latest Urban Excellence. So thank you guys so much. And thank all of our guests that are here every week supporting us. We so appreciate you. And we have a dynamite team. You've already met Mr. Gregory Sneed and Mr. Stephen Turner. He's the producer, and without him, all these wonderful people wouldn't be here. And Miss Robin Phillips, and I believe Robin is traveling, and hopefully she'll pop in shortly. And with that, I am going to kick it back over to Mr. Gregory Sneed.
Right on, right on, right on.
All
Okay, cool.
right.
Hey, it's interesting. I was reminded. I gotta find it somewhere, but I have it's an acrylic piece that's got coins in them, and it's got the nine coins, three, three, and three, and it has the shape of the lines or diagram for you to connect all 9 of them with only 4 lines. And it's usually inside of a box. And if you've ever seen that, if you've not, look it up. But the way to connect all those um, coins, or those dots, if you will, is exceeding that boundary of that box. And your lines have to go outside of the box in order to come back in. So it's interesting. And so that was the concept of where you have to think out of the box. You have to go out of the boundary or out of the limitations of what society or corporate might establish for you to get things done. So our guests that come on here are people that look at boundaries and look to at times go past those boundaries, be groundbreaking, if you will, to be innovative. So we hear those expressions quite often, out of the box, out of the box. And it's good to remind ourselves where that comes from and what that really means. So our guest today is Miss Margo Ladrew, and she is the Black Beauty Shop Health founder and also founder and president of Wade and Associates. And as part of Women's History Month, we're going to hear from someone who is making history in our community, because she is president of the Wade and Associates and founder. She'll be telling us a lot more about what the Black Beauty Shop Health Foundation is. But very quickly, Wade and Associates is an award-winning project and special event management company. And as the executive director of the Black Beauty Shop Health Foundation, she's established a collaborative engagements with beauty salon operators to provide health screening, education, and resources preliminarily to women of color. Prior to that, she served as the national director of business development for the Bill Pickett Invitational Radio. Show of hands, how many of y'all been to the rodeo? Yeehaw, right? Okay. And served as well as the event consultant to DePass Entertainment. She is up for an award potentially this coming, was that 2 days from now, right? At the Black Business Association. Shout out to Sarah. Sarah's here representing the president of the Black Business Association, BBA. And that event is taking place the 23rd of March at the Sheraton Gateway, Los Angeles. So that's enough about there. And let's see. We didn't get a chance to chat with Margo, or at least I didn't get a chance to chat with her. So I have no idea where she grew up, where she's from. So she'll be sharing that information with us. I don't know if she's from LA, she's from Louisiana, Canada, Singapore. No, I'm kidding. So please help me welcome to the virtual stage Miss Margo Ladrew.
Thank you, everybody, for having me. The community briefing. You guys do so much for the community and providing so much information. And so I'm proud to be on here. In reference to where I grew up, I'm a Southern girl. So I'm from Richmond, Virginia, with roots from North Carolina. And so I traveled from Richmond to Chicago by way of Los Angeles. And I've been here now for about 32 years, almost 33 years. So I guess I'm a Californian for sure.
Where did you go to high school?
Well, I went to high school in Richmond, Virginia.
Richmond, okay.
Yeah, in Richmond. And so that's where all my family is from. And so I was the one that wanted to venture out and leave, because I started my career in the beauty business. So I started doing some shows and modeling, and I just was fascinated with the Black beauty business. And I decided that I was going to land a job. And so I moved to Chicago, where all the Black companies were. And I worked for 6 months for a temp until I got an interview with Mr. Johnson at John H. Johnson. And I got the job. And so I worked there for 6 years, almost 7. And it was phenomenal, because if you knew Mr. Johnson, he was one of a kind. And working for Ebony and Jet during that time at Fashion Fair, I mean, they were the it company, because that was what was happening and where we got all of our news from. And so I learned so much working at that company because he didn't believe in having outside agencies. We did think tanks. And so all of the executives, if you were in a particular department, you came together. We did a think tank. We all had to come up with ideas for promotions. And whoever had the best idea or one or two, we dissected it. And then we came up with what our promotions were going to be for that year. So that was a great learning experience for me in starting my career, and actually where I learned most of my marketing skills from, and working with him on a daily basis.
And you knew you had arrived if you had one or two things. You got into Ebony magazine, or you were in Jet magazine, and featured in Jet, and I guess the fellows all remember the picture of the week. And yeah, I see some smiles going on
It's the
there.
beauty of the week, and I
The
was in
beauty of the
both.
week, yeah,
I
the beauty
wasn't
of the
the
week.
beauty of the week, but I was in both. I did some print work for them, and that kind of started me really in the beauty industry. Fast forward, coming to Los Angeles, I started my own broker business and represented major hair care lines, from Dark and Lovely to Magic Shade to Johnson
Proline.
Products, Smooth and Shine, everything. And, enjoyed a career here representing those lines on the West Coast.
Cool. Well, the floor is yours, Margo. We're ready and listening to your presentation. Tell us about what's happening, information for the community. We'll do about 15, 20 minutes of that, and then we'll have some Q&A and some follow-up. And so the floor, the virtual stage is yours.
So since it's about Women's History Month, I just want to say to all the women and young girls out there, don't ever believe you can't do anything or achieve anything, because you can. All you have to do is, if you set your mind to it, and I say to everybody, if it's something that you really enjoy and you like, volunteer for it, because you'll be surprised when you volunteer for things that you like, you meet the people who are running everything. I've been blessed enough that I've always wanted to learn. And unfortunately, I never had an opportunity to go to college because I started working at 14. My mother suffered from schizophrenia, and we had a father that raised 4 kids and also took care of his wife. And so I started working at an early age and helping to pay the phone bill and do things at home. And then I was the one that wanted to travel. And so I moved to Chicago because I wanted to be in the beauty industry, learned as much as I could there, had an opportunity to open my own broker business in Los Angeles, came here, did that. And a lot of people may not realize that I actually worked with Dr. Bill Relaford to help develop and launch the first national Black barbershop program that went across the country. We traveled 26 cities, screened over 30,000 Black men for diabetes, high blood pressure. We actually trained cities and states on how to do the program. And every barbershop program that is out now that focuses on Black men's health came from the template and the pilot that we did. And for that, I'm very proud, because I am passionate about helping our Black men, because unfortunately, the women are the CEOs of the family when it comes to their health. And so we have to really kind of help and gear and make sure that you guys take care of yourself. And so that's what started my trend in the health, mixing beauty with health and the transition. And so I went on to volunteer again for the Image Awards, because I wanted to be a part of that entertainment industry. And believe it or not, I worked every area from sales to doing sponsorships. And I ended up saying, I think I can do this. And I met the right people. I didn't know anything about putting together a proposal. And the computers were just really starting to, where you could do research. So I would look at proposals, get production proposals to see how I would put it together. And I asked some of the executives that I worked with, if I submitted one and did it well, would they support me? Because I felt like that I could do it. And so I put in my bid and I did it. And when I got it, I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do now? Because I have to do this event and be the liaison between the production and the fundraising. But it's like anything else. It's your ABCs, your 1, 2, 3. You have a beginning, a middle, and an end. And you need to connect the dots and just learn as much as you can so that you can achieve the goals that you want. And also surrounding people that have experience in all the areas that you need in a particular project. No one person can do anything. I'm up for the unsung excellence, and I'm so proud to be and honored to be one of the nominees. But I also salute all of the women who are nominees, and all of us. I feel that we're winners just because we were acknowledged by our community. A lot of times people don't think that they can work together. And it's an unspoken rule sometimes that Black people can't work with each other. Black women can't work with each other. And that's not true when you look at the community briefing, the Black Business Association, all these years that they've been doing and supporting Black businesses. And it's just getting with like minds and getting the people that have the same goals and mindset as you. And also to understand that we're human. We make mistakes, right? Sometimes, but we can't put us to the side and say, I'm never going to work with that person again, because all of us go to fast food restaurants, and you say you're not going back, but you do. So we have to do the same things and give opportunities for our Black businesses. And so that's how I've been successful in my business and my career, is connecting with other women and Black businesses that are doing the same thing of trying to grow and do stuff for the community, working together, looking at who has a strength in one area, who has a strength in another area, and how we merge those so that we can all be successful and pull each other up. And so I've enjoyed having an opportunity to work with a lot of women organizations, partner with them, and create a niche for myself in this beauty industry. And you would have thought I would have started in the beauty shops first, but it's reversed. We started in the barbershops first because that's where the need was for the men. And now we're going into the shops and really particularly concentrating a lot too on mental health. Because what people don't realize is that stylists and barbers too, but stylists in particular, because women share so much stuff when they're sitting in that chair. And when you're dealing with a stylist, they can be your stylist from your first hairstyle when you're going to school, when you're graduating, when you're going to your prom, when you get married, also when you get a divorce. Those stylists see you grow and see every change. And so they've heard everything that happened in your life throughout your years. And sometimes stylists take that on, if you know what I mean. They take it on within their own being because they're the therapist behind the chair. And they're talking to people and they're trying to help and console. People are talking about their kids. And so when we started working with the shops, and particularly doing mental health, we realized, hold up, wait a minute. We can't go in and just start training, because we realized the stylists were going through their own mental health issues, their own feeling like they're depressed sometimes. And so we had to back up with the pilot and say, okay, we need to change this. The first sessions need to be about them. What are they going through? What do they need to help their clients? And so that's how we've mirrored and developed the program. And we have a grant now working with the California Black Women's Health Project that we're going to be doing this statewide, to be able to train stylists statewide and build a statewide program. And then our next goal would to go national. And so that is everything in the health industry that I've been doing. And I've also had the opportunity to be brought on by MLK Community Hospital prior to them opening. And my job was to make the community love MLK again. Look at MLK from other eyes, because a lot of people knew MLK as Killer King when they closed. And a lot of people did not have great experience. And so when I went to the hospital and we worked and developed a program called Know Your Basics, which was is and still a community outreach program where we do screenings everywhere. We've done salons, health fairs, we've done laundromats, anywhere where we can go and reach people and do screenings and build MLK's name. And I can say collectively with the hospital and the consultants, we did that job, and they're thriving and doing well. And it makes me proud to know that I was there before they opened their doors, and I'm still there, able to help. And then we developed another program based on my experience with the Black Barbershop program called the Man Up for Your Health, which again is focusing on Black men, and we just added in other men of color to be able to help. So those are some of the things that I'm really, really proud of to be able to do in Los Angeles, and being able to help our community. And then one last thing, I am still the National Development Director for the Bill Pickett Invitational Rodeo as well, and have been able to interject health into the rodeo as well, because wherever you are in programs and you're dealing with thousands of Black people, it is always good to bring in community resources, whether it's for jobs, opportunities in their community, health, because we need those resources. And sometimes it's hard to get them or to find out. And so we built where we have community tables and programs where we can provide all types of resources at the events that we do.
So tell us more about the health screenings. Oh, you mentioned Man Up. I've been to a couple of those presentations. One was there on La Brea in
Right.
in Inglewood, the 213 or 303. I don't know what it is.
313.
313. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Tell us more about the health screenings, the education that you're doing for the beauty, and also what's the difference between a beauty shop and a beauty salon?
It's the same. Old school is beauty shop. They changed the name to beauty salons. Now you got barber shop and salons, barber salons. It just depends on, I'm old school. We still say beauty shop. A lot of them say beauty salons. But, that is the place where women talk about everything. We share so much in the salon, and also the barber shops. A lot of people don't realize that barber shops were where people went to get their prescriptions, information on health, because a lot of doctors were barbers. And barbershops were where people went to get all the information happening in the community. Barbershops and beauty shops were where people actually gathered and came up with groups, community groups, to go out when people started doing voting campaigns and getting Black people to vote back in the days when they were having us count the number of marbles and stuff in the jars. Those were the places where people went and talked about everything. And so they got everything from their health to political to what was happening in families. So what we've done is just kind of reinvented that when we did the barbershops and now doing the beauty shops and salons, because those are community resource centers, because you can get any information in a salon, and because you've got all walks of life that are going to a particular salon. See, people don't realize you can be in the worst part or wherever you say the neighborhood or the hood. You got doctors, lawyers, business owners, because that is the shop that they grew up with. That is their salon. That is where they feel comfortable. So you can learn so much in a shop and a barber shop, and you can work together and create things for your community because you have so many people there. And so we've done, hi Michelle, I see Michelle on. she's worked too, and her shop has been a part of the beauty shop program. And so we like to take women's interest in beauty and slip in the health, right? Because women love beauty. And so whenever you're talking about anything in the beauty and you can slip into health, you just kind of relate it, how it connects together. Because most of your beauty comes from inside anyway, without. Because it doesn't matter what you look like or how you dress. If you're a horrible person, you don't look good in people's eyes. They don't see you as beautiful because you don't treat people well. And so we always teach from the inside out and being able to help people in our community. And so that's been one of the things with the hospital is building those barbershops into resource centers. So with our Man Up program, we have little units, tabletop units that we keep in the shop, and we rotate them based on the health months. So if it's prostate cancer, if it's heart disease, if it's high blood pressure, which a lot of our Black men suffer from high blood pressure, a lot. And because heart disease and different things are quiet killers, we have so many people that are getting strokes. I tell you a story. I remember we were traveling with the barbershop program, and we went to New Orleans, and we had men down there that said, you said, have you ever been to the doctor? No, or not unless I got shot or something. I mean, that was serious. And we would screen, and we still do screen men that their numbers are in the 2s and some in the low 3s. They're walking around almost in a stroke mode. Some of them slurring their words. They've gotten so used to it that that's how they feel that they're supposed to feel. And we had a lot of men tell us where they didn't have time to go to the doctor because they didn't want to lose their job. That was real life things, and a lot of people are struggling with insurance. How can they go to the doctor? So we try to share resources where there are free resources, connect them to the resources that they need so that they can get the help for themselves and their community. And so that's been very rewarding.
That brings up a good point. How center the beauty shops or beauty salons and barbershops. I can speak for myself. It's been a good 10, 11 years. I haven't been going to a barbershop because I don't, I just take care of it now at home since I don't have hair.
Right.
But, you might have been living in Beverly Hills back in the day, but you couldn't get your fro shaped up at, at a barbershop, so you had to go to the hood. I've heard a lot about women saying that they can't go to a regular salon because they don't know how to do black hair or forget about getting a perm. So yeah, that's quite exciting.
Yeah, because
And
when somebody is in your hair, that's a very personal thing. When somebody is touching you, massaging your hair and doing that, it is a very intimate relationship. And that's what people do not realize. You have an intimate relationship with your stylist and your barber because they are taking care of you, your being, how you look and how you feel. And we all know once we go to the barbershop or the salon, we feel good when we come out there because we strutting with our hair done or our beard shaved and looking good. It just does something to your spirit when you are able to have those services.
yeah, it was like a community. I mean, I remember barbershops, in Brooklyn. That's where, you talked about all the sports and the games. That's the numbers runners came through there. Anybody that had, stolen merchandise, they were coming through the barbershop. Like, I got these tapes, I got this.
Right.
So that was, and obviously I've not been in a beauty shop, so I don't know how much of that happens, but I know there's a lot of, oh, that reminds me of that. Remember the play called The Beauty Shop?
Uh-huh.
What was that Shelley Garrett? I think had
Yeah.
a play,
The
beauty shop.
and then
That was
Queen
hilarious.
Latifah did her.
And the barbershop.
Right. You
They
got the
learn about the
barbershop.
barbershop as well. But
Yeah.
there's a mismark as well. Especially for those of us that really understand from an economic standpoint how much money that we as Black people actually miss in the beauty industry. The
Absolutely.
beauty industry is. I did a show on Friday for Black History Month. Even highlighting Madam C.J. Walker, Annie Malone, Turbone Malone, and Mary Kay, and how actually Mary Kay's business model was Annie Malone's business model. And she was the very first multimillionaire in the beauty industry. In 1920, she made about $14 million. She was a multi-million dollar. She was actually the first one. Everyone thinks it's Madam C.J. Walker, but she wasn't. It was actually Annie Malone, and Madam C.J. Walker was a client of hers. But by 2030, this is going to be $130 billion industry. And we don't even tap into 1% of it. But we as Black women, we only go to Black beauty stylists. We only go to Black barbers. And it is just, it's been a pet peeve of mine since I've gotten into the coaching business as to what the hell is the problem. And so Gilbert and I are looking at creating a course. I do understand that a lot of it is the foundation of building a business, and a business that's scalable. But we have to tap into it. You can't go to anyone else to get your hair done. I don't care what you're doing with your hair. You can't go to, even though the Koreans sell the products, they can't do your hair. So we really got to figure out a way to tap into the billions and billions of dollars. So I don't know if you've had a conversation about that, Margo, but you and I definitely need to have that conversation. And Michelle, you and I definitely need to have that conversation.
I have. And, it's interesting you say that. See, I come from, and I'm pretty sure Michelle did too. I came from the days when I was detailing and we were calling on beauty and barbershops. And we had to ride with our distributors. And that's how we sold products. We would take the product in and let the stylist try them. And then we would do what you call turnover orders. So we would pull that product through the distributor when you had new products go in. When I started, the beauty supply stores were all Black. See, they were all Black, and in the communities, you had some white beauty supply stores that catered to those, but in the communities. But when the curl came out, okay, I was in the curl frame. The distributors, they were all Black distributors. I have to tell you this story because they were all Black distributors. They made millions and millions of dollars. It was probably the last gold rush for Black people in a business. So you had distributors who repped Soft Sheet, Johnson Products, World of Curls, all the main ones at the same time. A lot of them did not understand how to manage making all of that money. And a lot of them got in trouble with the IRS, lost businesses. And when that whole explosion happened with the curl, the other industries, the white companies and the Koreans looked at it like, wow, we could tap into this. And so they started, because they had more money, they could buy truckloads, Crystal. And whenever you buy, it's like anything. You buy larger quantities, you get better commission, percentages off. And so I can't tell you how many seminars calling all the Black distributors together, the beauty supply stores, saying, look, you guys have got to pool your resources and start buying these larger quantities. We will even package it if you buy a 50,000 or 45,000, and we will separate it 15, 15, and 15. Package your stuff. It's got to ship to one place, right? And you guys pool and you pay your portion. Well, because we were taught not to trust each other, guess what? We didn't do that because they're going to mess with the money. They didn't trust each other. And then, so the Korean population came in, undercut, started buying those trucks, 100, 200,000 and getting 17, 19, 21% off, where they were only getting 5 to 7 because they didn't pool. And so they started taking over the market, and because of the industry. Now, one of the good things that has happened because of social media and because you can reach more, we do have a lot more young millionaires in this business because they've been able to package, or at least have a good living, package their products, reach more people, and can cut out the middleman because they don't necessarily have to be in that beauty supply, right? And so we're hoping that this will continue to grow. That is a pet peeve of mine in starting to teach because I come from both sides. I can teach. I used to do hair too. I never got my license, but I was in the, I started taking class. And whenever you're in the industry, you learn. I had a chair in my basement at home. I was doing curls and styling and everything. So you learn about products, you learn about styling and cutting. And then, but I was on the business side. So that's one of the things that we want to do with the shops, to start saying, you guys have got to retail some products in here. Look at some things you can put your own branding on. How do you support another company that is growing, that you can take a piece of that commission and have, because people got to go out and buy the stuff anyway. So why not carry some of the items that you sell the most, that you promote to your customers, that can be another revenue base for you.
Let's
Hey,
talk.
Margo, take a quick look at this. I'm gonna share the screen a minute here. Look,
Okay.
this is gonna take y'all back a bit.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
Let's see.
definitely,
I don't
definitely.
see sporting waves up there. One of my friends created sporting waves. So Bronner Brothers, I represented. Isoplus, I represented. African Pride, I represented. Um, Ultra Sheen, I represented, and Murray's. All those I worked with and sold products from all those companies.
And today there's just as many products out there about black that are black distributors as well. Margo,
Right.
you and I need to talk, because there is definitely both on the both male and female personal product and beauty product industry is just tremendous. There's three industries that I believe that revolutionary could change our economics position. That's the beauty industry, that's the sport industry, and that's the entertainment industry. So
Absolutely.
those are the three industries that we wouldn't even have to worry about the outside world, because we actually dominate those worlds. But a lot of it is just exactly what you said. They don't have the business acumen. So those of us that are business coaches that are out there doing what we do anyway, why are we not helping these individuals? I coach business people. A lot of my clients are in the hair industry, and that's what I'm always talking about. Why are you not selling retail? What the hell is wrong with that? And then I get these.
Especially in your shops. And we actually have branded Beauty in Black. And
Yeah.
we're actually working on a line right now under the foundation, so that we can raise money for the mental health programs and the things that we want to do. So I'm excited about that. And then there's a new product called I Know, which is owned by a Black female. As a matter of fact, her product just got featured at the Image Awards, and they
Awesome.
had her in the gifting room. She does one of the largest hair shows in the country called Ubiquitous, which is in DC. We're trying to get her to come to do it on the West Coast as well, because they do a lot in health and health and wellness, as well as beauty, and merge that in.
No,
In fact,
that's awesome.
that was one of the questions that Stephen had. Were you involved with Image Awards or the NAACP ceremony with Sandra Willis and those folks back in the day?
Back in the day, yeah, because I worked with Ernestine Peters. And actually, I came right after, because Sandra Evers Manley was actually over the NAACP, the office here, the Hollywood branch.
The
And
Hollywood
a lot
one,
of
yeah.
people don't know she was the one there. They were the ones that really started the Image Awards. And then National, because it became, and National took it and built it from there. So, yes, I was there back in the day. I was in.
Willis Edwards.
Yes, Willis was, he was, everybody knew Willis. He had it going on, and he loved the NAACP. I actually was a member of the NAACP when I was a teenager. I joined doing different things. They would have little fashion shows and stuff. And I remember being involved at home in Richmond. At that time, I really didn't understand, what they really did and what they meant. It was just being involved in an organization that was doing things with young people, and doing things in the community. And then going full circle, I actually served on the NCNW, National Council of Negro Women, as an advisory for 4 years, when we had to kind of like unpeel everything and make sure that the organization became solvent again. And the fact that they now own their building in DC, which is a great thing. And back to your point too, Crystal, about the industries. If you took all of the athletes and pooled their money and they decided they weren't going to do anything, go on a court or whatever, do you know how it would shut down the United States? They do not realize the power that they have. You cannot go out and just staff another team in a week, in a month,
In a year,
in a
in
year.
5 years.
And when you look at what Colin Kaepernick did, if all of them had said, what were they going to do?
Right. It would
Nothing.
take them 12 years to develop because you got to
Right.
get these
So
kids from the age of 6.
our athletes really do not know how much power they have if they
Right.
wanted to make a difference in this community. Same thing with the entertainment, but in the entertainment, it's a little different because you have to kind of have some of your own niche too, because it's
Mm-hmm.
still controlled by certain. So they can make or break you if you're not. But athletes have a different mold because of their skill. And nobody can just go out and replace you to come play ball like they can recast somebody else. That just doesn't happen. So that is our number one industry. If we pull together to really make one statement and to shut stuff down, that's it right there.
I agree. I agree. I teach kids how to be entrepreneurs in the summertime. I have a program. I put the flyer in the chat, everyone. But a lot of our kids come in wanting to create product lines for the hair industry, the
Right.
beauty industry. So that's a good start, right? Teaching them how to scale, and that's what we do. Teach them how to scale a business, how to run a business,
Absolutely.
and that way they have those skill sets and not just create something that's a sensation for a minute, but don't know how to manage it once it gets to that level. And I think you're absolutely right. That is the problem, not having business acumen on how to scale a business and take it to that next level. And there's a lot of controversy about, okay, but they get to a certain place and they sell their products, right? But that's the business, right? That's what you're in business to do, is to
Mael
sell.
just did it. Mael
Right.
just did it, and I mean, went to the bank, and and they're still creating new stuff and doing it. I mean, that's what people do, and then keep a piece of it. But we do need more people, and I think starting in the school when they're training, to become stylists and barbers, that is really where you catch them. We
Mm-hmm.
starting to do some stuff in the schools with health because a
Mm-hmm.
lot of them need to take care of their health. People don't realize, and I always tell stylists, you deserve to take a break and have your lunch. People can be so selfish. They're late for their appointment, right? They're rushing and they want to come in and
Don't
they
show
want
up.
to hurry up and do them. And it's like, wait a minute, you wasn't on time. I need to take a break. And I tell stylists, you have the right to tell your customer, I'm sorry, you need to wait a few minutes. I need a 15 minute, I need to have my lunch. I need to sit and rest my legs. It was a lot of times stylists never sat on stools. Now some of them are starting to sit on a stool behind because they would stand all day. And so that's one of the things that I like to talk to stylists and stuff about, is taking care of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
There was a day when stylists would be in the shop all times of night,
Mm-hmm.
doing stuff in people's hair. A lot of them smarten up and said, no, we got to do it some hours, if it's a special event. But I'm not staying here to 9 and 10 and 11 o'clock to make it most convenient for you. This is my business, and so it's good to see a lot of them now closing their businesses at certain times, having a light, unless it's like the Image Awards coming up and everybody's trying to get there. Of course, that might be one of those late nights or doing it, but we've got to
Or,
give them respect.
That
or
reminds me of what was it? It was a beauty salon down on Stony Island in Chicago. It was open 24 hours for a while. Remember, I can't remember the name of it.
I don't remember that one, but barbers is easier. They can do their shave and go. They're not doing perms and putting the curlers in and doing all the other things. And so it's a long time that stylists are even standing behind a chair when they're
Yeah.
doing somebody's hair. And then usually sometimes they're working on a couple of them at the same time. So, um, it just,
or getting to that place like, okay, they've been doing this for 20 years. Now I got to go get a real job.
Uh huh.
A real, because
right,
I don't have any benefits. I can't retire. because they have not put those things in place.
Absolutely.
And I lost quite a few stylists because they had to go get a real job. Like, wait, you gotta wait. This is a career. But I didn't. They didn't invest in real in a retirement plan. So by the time they're looking. By the time they're 40, now they're looking at 65. I got to stop this so that I can go get a real job with the county or the city or the whatever, so I can have retirement benefits so I can retire. That's ridiculous. You didn't put all this time and energy in.
And it's a cash business. It was
Right.
a cash business for the most part. And what was happening is, the salons was the place where every hustler was going in to sell their stuff.
Right.
And I was trying to tell the stylist, don't buy everything that's coming, because some of them, they were buying everything that they come in there, the shoes, the Gucci purses, the this. And I say, how can you do that and you don't have insurance for yourself? You don't have any health insurance. That's been the hardest part, is saying you deserve health insurance. Some of these things you can put aside. And as you get older, mature, people realize, but young people want to buy and do all the things. And again, that's teaching them too when they're coming out of school and as they're getting their shops, to make sure that they take a certain percentage and put it away so that they can have a savings or they can invest, and to make sure that they have a small policy or just some insurance, because a lot of them still don't realize, because of the Obamacare, what's going on. They can have insurance for $100 and something or $200. It doesn't have to kill them, but you just have to make that move and say, I'm more important than this thing, all this stuff that I'm doing. I have got to take care of me.
Nor can they buy houses because they don't really file taxes, because there's all
Right.
the cash.
And the credit.
There's so many things. They're operating under the radar, and so therefore they're really not participating as real business owners. They're hustlers, and this is their gig. So they then have to get a side. They got to get a real job. Stephen, you had a question? Where'd Stephen go?
Yeah, I'm right here. I'm going to
Okay.
defer my question to Greg, this is up his alley. But Margo, before we let you go, really, I want, on behalf of all of us as community briefing, want to thank you for coming on board. But one of the requirements we have of you for future segments of community briefing is, if you had to recommend one guest to follow you up, who would that be? And can you help us secure that person?
For me to think of them right now, who would that be?
Yes.
In the industry, I would say
Yes.
maybe Lauren Espy, which is over at MLK Community Hospital. She's a
All right.
young.
You and I will work together to make that happen.
Yes, I think she would be an excellent guest because she's young, helping to develop those programs. They got to have some great community programs over there. And so I think she would be an excellent guest to come on.
Awesome.
Great.
Margo, take a couple of minutes. We're running short of time, but take a couple of minutes and tell us about your involvement. How did you get connected with the Bill Pickett Rodeo? Do you ride, or was that just on the? Yeah, I can see you on the horse.
I can ride. It was another one of those things like the Image Awards. Back in the day, and we still do, as Black businesses, sometimes we need support, so we help each other. So when I was doing the Image Awards and other things, we had other friends that I hired to do stuff. So when we did things, they was like, girl, I need a volunteer. Can you come help me over here? I'm like, yeah. Because I even volunteer. Some people will see me now at registration desk helping people. I said, registration is the best place to work because you meet everybody coming in. I don't care. I can sit at registration all day because I can see who's with Wells Fargo and who's with this company. But we helped a friend who was doing the rodeo, and her name was Lynn Diller, and she actually worked with me doing some stuff on the Image Awards. And she said, Margo, I got this rodeo. Can you and June come help me? I'm short of people. We like, absolutely. Now, I knew nothing about a Black rodeo, the underground circuit, nothing. We went to it. It was nowhere as near as big as it is now. Went and saw these Black cowboys, and they were doing a rodeo. And I thought I knew everything that was going on because I'm one that have dedicated my life working with Black companies, for them, and supporting them. That has been my mission. And so when we went, I said, oh my God, where have I been? Unbeknownst to me and a friend, she was getting ready to she had been with them, they had been around for 10 years, and she was taking a job at BET. So she was turning it over to somebody that she wanted, that knew they could take it. And so we kind of got thrown into it, didn't know anything about it. But again, it's ABC, right? It's a beginning, a middle, and an end. You understand what you need to start it, what's that middle portion that you got to do to make it successful, and then the ending. What is your end result? And so we learned the rodeo. My friend moved away. I stayed with Bill Pickett. It became a passion because it was a culture that was neglected. And what most people don't realize is that Bill Pickett is the only person that has created an event that's done in all white rodeos and all rodeos called steer wrestling. It was bulldogging when he created it. And until the Bill Pickett Invitational Rodeo started in 1984, none of the rodeos were talking about where steel wrestling came from. Nobody knew it was a black man. But once Bill Pickett came out and started teaching people about Stagecoach Mary, Bass Reeves, and Bill Pickett, then they had to start saying, "Oh, this event was created by William Bill Pickett, black cowboy from Texas." And so that's how I got involved. Volunteered, ended up taking it over, and I'm very proud of where we have taken it. It is run by all black women now. Our boss died in 2015. She didn't know if she would keep it going. We pulled together and made a list and was able to get Bill Pickett on TV in 2021 on CBS as the first all black rodeo ever to appear on TV. We dealt with a project, a partnership with the Professional Bull Riders Association, and now have Bill Pickett on 4 times a year streaming from Texas at the oldest rodeo arena in the United States, which when Bill Pickett went there 32 years ago was not really welcome. And so to build that bridge, to close that gap, and to be there now, and our rodeo sell out more than all the other rodeos, and people come from around the world. So I am more than happy to be a part of that. And so now we're setting it up, just like you were talking about, Crystal, to make sure things continue. We are setting this up now so that the rodeo can be here 50 years, 60 years, 70 years, because we're planning the 40th year anniversary.
That is
Awesome.
awesome.
You're up for an award this in a couple of days. Sarah, you want to join in here and tell us about what's happening in 48
Yes.
hours?
Right. Oh, yes, we're having our 21st annual Salute to Black Women Business Conference, Vendor Fair, and Awards Luncheon. And we are delighted to have this year, we decided to do host nominations, open up nominations for awards. And Margo was one of the persons nominated for the Unsung Excellence Award. So there's 3 others in that category.
I know some
So
of that's up, and we're friends. So for
yeah,
me,
Go ahead and shout out the other awardee. Go to the
yeah.
nominees. Go ahead and shout them out.
yeah,
Yeah.
shout out there because we are all friends.
And that's the difficult part about it, right? Because a lot of people know each other, and all very deserving in each of the categories and everything. But no, it's just going to be an excellent time at the Sheraton Gateway Hotel from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Anybody who wants to, we are like basically at capacity, just about. I know vendor fair is going to be amazing. But bbala.org, a few tickets left. Look forward to having you guys here. I also wanted to say I had some deliveries coming. I had to kind of check out for a minute. I didn't know if you guys, if Margo had mentioned about the television deal and stuff with Bill Pickett Rodeo and everything.
No.
I just saying that, just in terms of what she was expressing today as far as collaboration, and being resourceful and connecting with people and doing things, it's like, that's the secret sauce right there and everything, and just and really being fearless too. So
And we have some other
Congratulations.
things that's coming up that we're gonna blow this industry. I can't say it now, but it's coming in a couple of weeks.
Well,
So
I meant the Bill Pickett Rodeo. Didn't you
yeah,
negotiate the
yeah,
thing
the
with the Bill
CBS
Pickett Rodeo?
deal. Yeah, I told them
Yeah.
the CBS deal, and so we're excited now on. And there's some more exciting things coming in both the entertainment industry, the rodeo. So again, for me, and one of the other organizations I work with, I have to say the Inner City Youth Orchestra of Los Angeles. Those are my babies. You know, they hired me when Chuck, they got their first big grant. And it's funny because at the rodeo, they saw my information and he said, do you do any other things? And I said, yes, I do. And when we met, I said, he told me what he was doing and he wanted to build it. And I said, well, look, first of all, are you committed to Black youth? Because if you're not committed to Black youth and you're doing everything for everybody else and trying, I ain't the one. Because if I'm gonna give up my time and not charge you what I normally charge, do this, you gotta help our kids. And that was the commitment that we made. And to be with them now, almost 10 years later, to help them elevate their game, and to the fact that now we got this grant. This grant award for $7 million from Stephen Bradford and bought a building. Oh my God. It is like walked into the building and we were saying a couple of us that's been there, our babies are growing up. Oh, so that is for me, the part. And like I said, in reference to, we know each other, we're up for the award. All of us that's up for it are behind the scenes people. I'm a behind the scenes person. I'm okay with that. I'm of service and to do. And so for all of us, I think we're winners just to be considered, and we all support each other. BBA made it hard this year because everybody's nervous, right? Because we're used to doing that. So it'll be a fun day to just kind of support each other.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much, Margo. I'm just so impressed. I've always been impressed since I first met you, and I'm not even can't even remember how that was, but I do know we're both Bellas with the Bella Network. But right. I don't think that's Absolutely. How I first met you. I think I met you through, I don't know, it might have been Recycling Black Dollars, but
it was Recycling Black Dollars.
Black Dollars, okay, for a number of years. Right. And you are behind the scenes, quietly doing what you do. And that's what a lot of us do, quietly behind the scenes, just making maybe major things happen. But that's the purpose of the community briefing, so people know who's doing what. And right. I think I also met, because you work with children, and that's my passion. And that's what drew me to you, was the fact that we're setting the standards and setting a pathway and a journey for our kids to have a better place on this planet. So thank you for all that you do. I will be there on Saturday as well, to help cheer all of you ladies on. Right. Because we have to champion our women that are doing incredible things. Greg asked a question the other day, and maybe you men can answer that. When is Men History Month? We haven't figured that out. But if y'all can figure that out, then we will definitely honor and uplift y'all too. We just don't know when it's on the calendar.
I have an idea for BBA. I'll submit some. Okay. Men are my thing. I love Black men because my dad took care of us. And so what I tell the women, I said, we're the CEOs and we're doing our stuff. But if we don't take care of our Black men, look around, it ain't going to be no more of us.
Well, okay. Actually, Ted told us the other day, Ted said that when it comes to voting, men are taking Black men are taking, and this is something we have to listen to. Men are taking a back seat to us. So, and I told him, we don't want to be the CEOs. Right. we won't have no problem stepping back. So Ted, whatever we can do to help move y'all into that position, we're all for that. But We're not trying to do that. We would love to elevate our Black men into the places that they need to be in, because that's what it says in the Bible, right? So that's what we want to do. But so if y'all tell us when Black Men History Month is, we will elevate you to the level that we have done to the women.
Well, I'm going to tell you, we're going to make a commitment right here today. We're going to make it happen.
All right. Okay. So there you go, Ted.
We're going to honor our brothers.
Because right now it's the 13th month of the year.
So we're gonna bring
We
it
do
into
give
the
y'all
12th.
Men's Health Month, but I think we need to put it in June.
Make it June. We'll make it June.
We
How
got
about
to make
that?
it June. We're going to
So,
come up with our own thing.
During Juneteenth, right? Yeah, there you go.
yeah, Juneteenth. We're gonna make it Juneteenth. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to Saturday. Thank you all. If you guys look in the chat, there's a number of flyers, and thank you guys for adding those flyers. And I'm going to start. Please continue to do that because I will add them to my weekly e-blast as well as to put it on my social media platforms, and there's about 4 or 5 of them. And then during the business zone on Friday, I will do that as well. So make sure you're adding those. But you will have to go in and in the chat and actually save those, because when they do come through on the chat on my side, they're not there. So if you want to save that, the event for the Angry Black Women, the play that's gonna, I guess, in Lamert, Renee put that up, please. If that, I mean, that sounds like that's fun, and I may even do that on Sunday. Pull that out, guys. So you need to say that. Thank you guys so much, Sarah. We're looking forward to the fun on Saturday. Can't wait. Emma, thank you. Michelle, can't thank you. Margo, girl, you just knocked it out the box. Any girl that can get on a horse. Any girl can get on a horse and do her thing. We got to give it to you. Thank you guys all for being here. Greg, Stephen, who's here next week? Is Stephen still here?
And guys, I got to sign off. I got another call, but much love and thank you so much.
All righty. And Gwen, we got to get you on here, girl. That's another dynamo woman over there. So, and Arnetta Mack, another powerhouse right there. So we want to make sure we get you on. I think next week, Stephen left, but who do we have next week? Yolanda Beckles.
Yolanda, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yolanda Beckles from the Knowledge Shop. Oh my God, this woman just did a phenomenal job at the Black Family Summit. I was a speaker on recycling the Black dollar and the power of the Black dollar. And oh my God, this lady talked about kids and empowerment and supporting and bringing kids into the STEM arena and just educating our children just to be incredible young beings for the future. So come back next week because she's awesome. Hey, Gwen.
Oh, excellent. Thank you. Good morning. What a powerhouse discussion with our sister friend and longtime community partner, Margo Wade Ladrew over at Black Women's Network. We're delighted to be in partnership and to be in connection and community with Margo and Beauty in Motion. And also seeing Michelle, it's good to see you today too. And Sarah. We at Black Women's Network certainly know the work and the contribution of Sarah in particular, but Black, Business Association and Black Women's Network grew up alongside each other. So we're so excited to yet be in community and in partnership with them. Our president this year is one of those nominees. Black Women's Network's president, Sean LaRae Brinkley, is also in the category for an award for the BBA program on Saturday. So if you're not in the room, you'll be missing an amazing time. So, pardon me, as Margo was speaking, so much was coming to mind because our organizing founder was all about business, all about being able to develop businesses. Marva Smith Battle Bay who is the organizing founder of Black Women's Network. Her vision is yet what we stand to sustain, and that is to have a place, as she was pointing entrepreneurs to at that time, what she was developing over at Vermont Slauson Economic Development Corp. And we were able to use that was the foundational platform for giving small businesses, entrepreneurial businesses, a place to grow and learn and develop. And it yet stands today in her legacy. I'm sitting as the community liaison over here in Inglewood, the entertainment and sports capital of America. Of the Americas.
America. So we got to get you on as well. I heard some startling news that there are a number of schools closing in Inglewood.
Yeah, we've got some challenge, no question.
Yeah.
And whenever you grow, there's challenge, and that challenge has to be met. So that's very much a battlefield, if you will, for us as a city, and for those of us that own and own property and live within the borders of this fabulous city. That is of course, a hill we're fighting on at this moment. But there's lots of good news. We are going to be holding shortly, and I wish I had a flyer to post today, but I'll get it to you, Crystal.
You come back next week and tell us all about it. But let us know how we can help, and we definitely want you to come in and talk about what we can do to help, at least from a voice standpoint.
Okay.
For Inglewood, we definitely want to be able to support.
Well, there's a workshop coming up for entrepreneurs or small businesses and businesses to do business in Inglewood. It is a workshop training that's coming up, and I will get that to you as soon as I'm off the line. And so I was off earlier. I couldn't come on camera because I was doing some behind the scenes meetings this morning. But I want to get you that flyer because it's an opportunity to get the information needed for how do you get into Hollywood Park? How do you do business if you have something in construction for the activities that are going on there? So that workshop is coming up, and we want to get that word out to the community.
All right, sounds fantastic.
The opportunity. Have an amazing week, everyone.
All righty, everyone. So we will see you all next week for your line day. And Gwen, we will talk offline. I'll see you on Saturday so we can have that conversation. Or Netta, I'll see you on Saturday so I can